is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Ron and this is MotorTube. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. In today's video, we got to 2019 Cadillac CTS V, and what we're gonna talk about is the 5 things I don't like about the car, the things that are the cons of this car, the things that I'm not impressed by. These are the concerns I have with a $100,000 vehicle. A car that is $100,000, you'd pretty much want a lot of things to be perfect, and these are the things I don't find perfect or the things that it lacks, and we're gonna talk about it in this video. The reason why I do things like this is because every vehicle, there's something that is not the best about it. There's always something that it lacks. There's a lot of cons in a lot of vehicles, and when it's $100,000, you wouldn't want the things that I'm going to mention be wrong with this car. So that's what this video is all about, ladies and gentlemen. So the first thing that I don't like and I feel like it lacks is horsepower. Now, to a lot of you guys, 640 horsepower seems like it's a lot, and it is somewhat a lot. But I feel like when you're paying $100,000 for a car that is competing with a car that's competing with like a Hellcat, with an M5, things like that are pretty quick, I would want this car to be about 700 plus horsepower. Okay, if you want to compete with the best sedans out there, if you want to be one of the fastest ones, because again, as much of this is being a luxury car, there's a reason they put a V in the back. There's a reason the V has more horsepower. The V is supercharged. There's a reason they put that. Otherwise, they would have just left it a CTS and made it luxury and all those things and left out being fast. Okay, there's a reason companies like to make their cars faster, or you know, for BMW they put an M and then M, you know, M6, M4, things like that, M5. There's a reason Cadillac did that. It's because they want to be fast, and 640 horsepower is not cutting it if you want to compete with some of the faster sedans out there. It might seem like I'm over exaggerating, but once you get in this car and drive it, you'll know that 640 horsepower is just not fast. Okay, it's just not quick enough, and it could be a lot quicker than 640 horsepower. I feel like where it'd be perfect is 700 horsepower, and that's where it will be fast. Okay, so that's just what I think. So with that being said, we're gonna move on to number 2, and number 2 is pretty similar with number 1, and it's basically that this car can't compete with the Hellcat. You guys seen the race? 1, 2, 3.
All right.
1.
I'm ready. Let's go.
The V cannot keep up with the Hellcat for the life of it. Even when it's giving it the leave, the Hellcat just blows right past it. Really, it seems like this car is going in reverse. It is just disappointing because, number 1, this is a 4-door sedan that's supposed to compete with the Hellcat. This is a 4-door sedan that is lighter than the Hellcat by like 200-300 pounds. This is like a 4,142 pounds, right around there. So pretty close to 4,200. And this is a 4-door sedan that has over 600 horsepower. Again, not 700. That's why I said 700 might be a little better than 640. And it still loses to the Hellcat every single time. A car that costs $30,000 less than this car. Now, of course, this car offers a lot more things. It's a lot more luxury. But at the end of the day, there's a reason they put a V on this car. It's because they want it to be fast and compete with other 4-door sedans. They wouldn't have just put it on a CTS and be like, oh, okay, we'll make it just a tiny bit faster. No, you have to separate it from the other CTS, and when you put the V, it makes it a CTS V, and it's supposed to be a lot faster. And with it not competing with the Hellcat is a big disappointment, honestly. Like, I really thought it would be a closer race when we raced them, but unfortunately, it was not even a race. It wasn't even a fair race, to be honest. Like, it's just like crazy because I don't even know what this car would be a fair race with. A ZL1 maybe? An M5 would blow its doors off. I don't know. An M4? That's what I mean. It's just not fast enough. It can't compete with the Hellcat, you know, Hellcat being its competitor. You know, they're both American cars, and it's just like, it doesn't compete with the Hellcat when it comes to horsepower and speed and performance wise. And that's just how it is. You know, you're gonna have to suck it up once you spend $100,000 for this car and you get next to a Hellcat and it blows your doors off. It's pretty disappointing. So now let's move on to the third thing, and it's the seats. These seats look not sporty, they look uncomfortable, and they're pretty ugly. Like, look at them, just look at them. They look like grandpa's seats. Now I get it, this is a Cadillac and it is not really for younger people, but they could have made this a little sporty. Now they do have the Recaros that come a lot sportier than these, but I feel like they should have just done a little bit more with these. You know, they're not like, they're just ugly to me. And another thing besides that they're pretty ugly is that they're very uncomfortable. I mean, like yesterday we were on a ride and we drove probably like 40 minutes and my back started hurting. I mean, I'm not over exaggerating. I'm very picky with seats, but like the Hellcat's obviously not comfortable. These are really not comfortable. I mean, this is what I mean. Let me show you guys. So this right here, it just comes out like too much. I don't know. It's just too hard and it doesn't make it comfortable. Again, we're talking about a luxury sedan. It's not like we opted in to buy the Recaro seats, okay? So we obviously wanted something more comfortable, and these just don't do. They're just so hard. It feels like you're sitting on rocks. And usually the Recaro seats are, you know, hard like rocks. Not these ones. These are supposed to be comfortable, and they were not comfortable at all, honestly. And I don't understand why Cadillac would do that. Now, it might be comfortable for some people, but for me, it's not comfortable at all, and I was very disappointed again in these seats. Another thing I'm gonna throw in there that is not really any of my 5 things I hate about it, but I really hate this, is the backup camera. Now my camera does make it look way better than it is, okay? My camera is a pretty expensive camera, great quality, and that's what, you know, it makes it look a lot better. But in person, this looks like a 2001 television screen. That's what it looks. It's grainy, it's terrible. It looks like a cartoon. It is just so embarrassing for a $100,000 car to have this backup camera. I mean, really? Also, this, you can flip it and you can see behind you. Again, it's looking so good through my camera, but in person, it looks like a cartoon. It is just so bad, and I'm just really disappointed in this. So before we move on to the 4th thing, let me know what you guys think so far of the video. Leave a comment, leave a like, and let me know what you guys think of the video so far. But now, we're gonna move on to the 4th thing, and it is the paddle shifters. We are in a sports car, right? Shouldn't the paddle shifters be somewhat responsive? No, they're not at all. They're terrible. Now, they are pretty nice. I do say they are pretty nice and long. They're plastic. Yes, they're plastic, okay? They put plastic paddle shifters in a $100,000 car. Let me show you guys real quick. You see that? It's plastic. They're plastic. Right here. They're plastic paddle shifters. Like, literally plastic. You could break them off. Like, not even the expensive type of plastic either. With them being plastic, I guess that's fine. I could get over that. But the shifting is so delayed. So let's say we're racing and I need to shift at 6,200. I have to shift at 6,000 to shift at 6,200. That's how big the delay is. It is obnoxious, because when you're racing another car and you shift at 6,200 and it really shifts way further than that and it redlines, it's pretty disappointing. You could lose races like that. And I know you could just learn how to shift better by shifting earlier than you usually want to. So shift at 6,000 and it really will shift at 62. But why do we got to do that? Why can't I just shift at 6,200 and it's shifting at 6,200? I mean, it is ridiculous. From a Hellcat to this, the shifting is terrible. And anyone who has a V will agree with me, because they realize that. And if they don't realize that, then they need to drive a Hellcat and see how responsive those paddle shifters are. They're just way more responsive than this. And I hate to keep comparing it to a Hellcat, because of course this is much more luxury than a Hellcat. But when it comes to performance wise, it should somewhere be in line with the Hellcat. You know, it can't be that off. I mean, the paddle shifters aren't responsive. I mean, it's just so slow, big delay, and I hate them. I wish they weren't even in here, honestly. They don't do anything. You can't even use them to benefit you in a race. It's almost like they hurt you more than anything. And now we're gonna move on to the fifth and final thing that I dislike about this car, and we're gonna have to step inside for this one. So let's come over here. Let's step in here. Let's get this camera on me real quick. And right now, let's close the door. I'm sitting pretty comfortably. Now, this is how I would sit to drive. Okay, I got the seat in the right position. I'm gonna show you guys how this whole setup is right now. Okay, look at that. Got room here. My feet, you know, extend. I can drive comfortably, foot on the gas, foot on the brake and everything, and we're all good. Okay, I'm not the tallest person in the world. Okay, I'm under 6 feet tall. Okay, not a tall person, sitting comfortably, right? My seat, let's check my seat real quick. My seat, sitting comfortably, not laid all the way back. I'm really sitting as you should. So I'm a driver. I'm sitting. We're in a 4-door car. Pretty big from the outside. It looks huge. It looks like a big yacht. Okay? Let's step in the back. And I'm going to show you guys how much room we got in the back. Okay? Okay. Let's get here. Open the door. Oh, okay. I mean, look how tight it is, but we'll try to squeeze in. Okay. All right. So basically, if we have a person that's not that tall driving, and another person that's not that tall sitting back here, your knees are gonna hit to the back of their seat, right? And also, I'm back here pretty uncomfortable. Like, look, I'm literally sitting straight up. There is no leaning back a little bit. It's not comfortable at all. I mean, again, backward and not comfortable. This car is just not comfortable. I don't understand why you make such a big 4-door car and a person that's not even that tall can't fit back here, okay? You just can't fit back here. Your knees are hitting here. How are you supposed to go on a road trip? I mean, you have the sunset. You have the sunshade. That's cool and cute, right? But if you're not comfortable back here, then what's the point of all this other stuff that looks luxury? I mean, look at this. Look at this. Like, you know, I mean, it's just a headache to even get in here. I mean, let me show you guys. Look how small it is, okay? Like the door looks huge, right? It looks like a Maybach door. Huge door. It's a really huge door. It's bigger than the front door, right? Huge. You would think you're about to get in the most spacious car ever. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're getting in this small car, okay? Almost like it's an ATS-V. Now, with this being this small, I can only imagine how small the ATS-V is. So the lack of space in the back is just ridiculous. Like, this is not a family car, okay? You can't fit anyone in here. I mean, maybe little kids. You know, besides that, you can't have your son, who is not that tall, even fit in here. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. Alright guys, so that brings us to the end of the video. I know I was pretty harsh on the car, but the only reason I went extra hard on this car is because this is a $100,000 car. This isn't just $50,000, it's not $40,000, it's not $60,000 or $70,000, it's a $100,000 car the way it's spec'd out. Why should it lack all those things and it being still worth $100,000? It's not a collectible car, it's not a sports car. It should have all those things that I was talking about, and it lacks them, and those are the things I thought that it should have, and it just didn't. Like the space, you know, the comfortability of the seats, things like that. You need to have them, especially when you're a luxury sedan, right? So I'm done complaining about the car. I'm gonna let you guys go. So if you guys like today's video, give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to this channel, smash the subscribe button, turn your notification bell on to stay up to date with the videos, and be part of the family. And with that being said, I will see you guys on the next episode. Have an awesome day. Make sure you guys stay positive. Peace out.